up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are back with our Lions predictions. Man, it feels so good to be back. I know it's only been a week off, but it feels so good to be back. Today, we are predicting the Detroit Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars Week 6 matchup. So let's get it started.
You know, I got to shout out DoseOfDion, man, because it was actually the first time I went live on YouTube. And, you know, guys don't know DoseOfDion. He put out a lot of good content for the Detroit Lions.
Welcome everybody to another video. Glad you guys are here, and man, I'm energized. I am awake. Okay, I woke up today excited to make this video because I have missed doing prediction videos. I know it was only a week. I know it was only 1 week off. But man, it felt so long. Now that it is Friday, we are back here to make our predictions for the Detroit Lions game. Now, we tried a reverse psychology type of deal last week. It didn't work. So we're back to making my real predictions, okay? We're making my legit prediction on what I think the score will be in Sunday's game. So make sure you let me know in the comment section below what your prediction is for this game. But stay tuned because we have a couple of good things in this video, okay? I'm going to be predicting some stats, obviously the final score, and also giving out some advantages. So who has the advantage? The Lions pass offense or the Jaguars pass defense? And we'll be doing that for every side of the ball and special teams. It's going to be fun. Now, keep in mind, we do have an offensive game plan video and a defensive game plan video. So if you guys want to see either of those and you want to see more into detail how the Lions are going to be successful against Jacksonville, we have those videos up. But in this video, it's kind of just an overview of everything. It's probably going to be a little bit shorter, but I am excited to do this one because it is a big week for both teams. Let's be honest here. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who have lost their last 4 games, they need to get back in the win column too. I mean, Jacksonville won their first week against the Colts, and it was like, oh snap. We were wrong about Jacksonville. They just beat the Colts. And their division isn't that great, so they're technically still in it, especially since they beat the Colts and the Colts just lost to the Browns. They're not out of that divisional race, so they just want to win football games. They feel like they can still get back into the race if they can get a win. And they're looking at the Lions saying, 1-3, haha, this is our opportunity to get back at it. That's what they're thinking. But us Detroit Lions fans are looking at this and saying, Matt Patricia, you got to find a way to get this thing done. Why? Because it could arguably be the most important head coaching game of his career. Why do I say that? Well, I'm not saying he's going to get fired if we lose, but I'm also not saying that he's not going to get fired if we lose. Did that make any sense? I don't know if that made any sense, but you know what I mean, right? I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he was fired if we lost. However, I also wouldn't be shocked if he wasn't fired because you just never know. I'm just saying this is a big game for Matt Patricia. He needs to find a way to get this win. He's had 2 weeks to prepare, right? You had a bye week. You have the talent. And if you're going to turn this thing around and you're going to get on a little bit of a run here against a favorable schedule when it comes to upcoming records, then this is how you do it. You know, you go beat Jacksonville. So it's a big game for both sides. One team is going to try to get their way back into the playoff race. The other team may be kind of falling apart for the season, okay? So that's why this game is so important. Now, Lions are heading to Jacksonville as 3-point favorites. That's good. We'll take it. I mean, I'd rather not be favored. That way, when I do my picks, I can take the Lions and be like, okay, hey, they can still lose as long as it's not by this much, right? And I can still get the pick right. But the Lions are favored by 3, so there is a little bit of belief in us. But not a lot, but there is a little bit. And the over-under is set at 54.5. Okay. 54.5. If you don't know what over-under is, it's basically the total amount of points in a game, right? The total amount. So you add each team's amount of points up, and that's the total, right? Do you think they'll score more than that or less than that? The over-under for this game is 54.5 points. That's basically 27 points a team. That's quick math again. You see me out here? But still, that's a lot of points. Like, they don't see any defense in this game, and I can't blame them. I really can't blame them. But the Lions need to show some defense, okay? Now, I got to bring out our guy here. I got to bring out Matthew Stafford here. Why? Because Matthew Stafford has an opportunity to make history against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you don't know what that history is, well, I'm going to tell you. Matthew Stafford has thrown a passing touchdown against every single NFL team. Of course, not the Detroit Lions because he's played for them his whole career. But every NFL team except the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, he is 2-0 against the Jaguars, but he could make some history, and he talked about it yesterday. He can make some history if he can throw a passing touchdown against the Jags. That's great and all. I'd rather see a win. I really don't care about the passing touchdowns, but I'm sure he wants to do both. Matthew Stafford, hates losing. We all hate watching our team lose, so hopefully we can get this thing right. So let's hop right into this, okay? 1-4 Jacksonville, 1-3 Lions. Who gets their second win? Let's go into the advantages, all right? Let's start with the Lions passing offense and the Jaguars passing defense. Now, if you watched my game plan video offensively from yesterday, you probably know who I'm giving the advantage to here, but I do want to point out a couple of factors. The first thing is this. The cornerback group for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's not very good, but there is a couple of pieces you have to keep an eye on. First off, Sidney Jones, who played maybe the best week of football he's ever played last week against Houston. Will he have that kind of performance against the Detroit Lions? I'm not sure, but they're going to really need it. They're going to slow down this passing attack. Also, C.J. Henderson, who could be returning from his injury, which he missed last week against Houston. Their 7th pick in the draft, the second corner off the board. If he can get back, that's also going to help this coverage unit. But even with those two there, I still feel like the Detroit Lions have mismatches all over the field. Whether it's out of the running back group against the linebackers, who aren't terrible. I mean, you could potentially be getting Miles Jack back as well. Joe Schobert's not that bad in coverage. So there's still some solid coverage linebackers, but I feel like there's just mismatches everywhere. The Lions have one of the best receiving cores in the league, and we need to see that on full display against Jacksonville. Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones, Amendola, Jamal Agnew, Marvin Hall, DeAndre Swift, T. Jackson, Jesse James, who has come alive recently. I could go name by name, right? Unfortunately, not Hunter Bryant. He can't get healthy. But there's a lot of names, and it's like, wow, that's some talent. So heading into this game, even if, they get healthy, the Lions still should have the advantage there. One thing that the Jags aren't too bad at, though, is that defensive line. It's honestly not terrible at getting pressure. For not blitzing very often at all and really using your guys to help in the back end and help in coverage to kind of help out that secondary, their defensive line isn't awful. Like, they still have some talent. They could be getting Josh Allen back, Levon Chason. They still have some talent there, right? Smoot, kind of showed up last week. So there's still some talent on that defensive line. So it's not completely awful in the front four, but the back seven, not the best in coverage. Not awful. Well, actually, I will say awful. You know why I'm going to say awful? Because they've allowed the highest completion percentage in the league. They've allowed the second highest pass rating. They've allowed the highest yards per attempt in the league. Their pass defense isn't very good. It isn't. Now, time and time again, you'll see them get a pick, but, it's not very good pass coverage defense. The advantage here is going to go to the Detroit Lions. A few names to keep an eye on: DeAndre Swift, Jamal Agnew, and Marvin Hall. Those are the three names to keep an eye on, and, of course, Matthew Stafford, if he can get himself into the record books by throwing a touchdown against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But the advantages go like this: 0 points, 0.5, 1, 1.5, and 2. The Lions, to me, get 2 here. +2 as their advantage. This is an opportunity for Matthew Stafford to have his best game. I really do see that, and potentially see one of these other players like Marvin Hall and Jamal Agnew or Swift to have a big breakout game. Moving on to the Lions' rushing attack versus that rushing defense for the Jaguars. Now, against the Jaguars, you don't really have to run the ball a ton because their pass defense isn't great, but their rush defense isn't great either. But it is better than their pass defense. It's below average. They're still allowing about 4.5 yards per attempt, but it's a little bit better in comparison to their pass defense, which has been completely abysmal. Like I said, their front four seems to be starting to get a little bit healthy, so that could help. Also, for the Lions side of things, Adrian Peterson, who showed up on the injury report yesterday with an illness, we'll see if he can get healthy by the time they play the Jacksonville Jaguars. But if he can't, keep an eye on DeAndre Swift to get a bigger role, which I would love to see. Kerryon Johnson as well. And plus, Bo Scarborough could be activated in this game. If AP can't go, we could see Bo Scarborough activated for the first time this year. That would be pretty cool. So when I look at this, I still give the Lions the advantage here. A little bit less of an advantage, a little bit less. I'm only going to give them 1 point on this one because the Jacksonville Jaguars rush defense isn't completely awful, but it's still below the league average. And Darrell Bevell's not going to go away from it. Bevell will not get one-dimensional, okay? We know that. He will not get one-dimensional. So they're going to pound it. So if the Jaguars can't stop it, it'll keep happening. It'll just keep coming. So when I look at the Lions offense, they're going to keep attacking on the ground. Hopefully they can break some things off. I'm telling you, look out for Swift in this game, especially now if Peterson can't go. I told y'all yesterday to look out for Swift. And if Peterson can't go, oh snap. Oh snap. Look out for DeAndre Swift to have a big game. And I'm giving the Lions a 1 point advantage here. Not as much as the +2, but +1, still a little bit of an advantage on the ground. But Adrian Peterson would still be nice to have there for short goal line situations and first downs and things like that because the guy's a monster. Like, the dude's still averaging about 4.5 yards a carry. And if you saw that run against the Saints, oh my gosh, that guy is hard to bring down. So it still would be nice to have him on the field, but I'm expecting a big game from DeAndre Swift. Moving on to the defense side of things for the Lions. The Lions rushing defense against the Jaguars rushing offense. Now this one is where I think the Jags take their first advantage. They have a running back that goes by the name of James Robinson. And Robinson, averaging 4.6 yards per carry on the season, has been, well, I would say pretty darn good. James Robinson has been one of the bright spots on this entire Jacksonville Jaguars team, and he's a pretty good runner. Like, he can get the job done. Plus, they love to utilize fullbacks, and they also like to get tight ends involved. And you're moving all over the field. You're trying to figure out what's going on. They'll pull guards. They're going to move players around, and they're going to try to set up that run attack. Now, I don't think they run the ball enough, and I think a lot of that has to do with being down because, obviously, if you're down, you can't really run as much. But if they can establish run game early and they can get on top of the Lions, that's where concerns can start to show up. Why? Because their rushing attack isn't that bad. They just don't get a lot of rushing attempts. So for the Lions, they want to be able to jump up. That way they can limit the amount of times James Robinson can be used in a rush game. He's honestly pretty patient, has some solid vision. They can run the football. The Lions' rush defense is the worst in the NFL in terms of yards allowed per game. So yeah, the advantage has to go to Jacksonville. Now, we've seen glimpses of this rush defense able to show up. I think mostly against the Cardinals. If we can see that, then maybe the advantage goes and more evens out. But I'm still giving the advantage to the Jaguars here. I'm going to give them a 1.5 advantage heading into this one. I not all the way, but 1.5, because I see it. I think the Lions could potentially surprise some people and stuff this run. But if we're going by what we've seen for the majority of the year, I got to give the advantage to the Jaguars. Moving down to the Lions passing defense against this Jaguars passing offense. This one's going to be interesting. This is going to be very interesting. The Lions pass defense hasn't been actually as bad as maybe some people think, but it's also not been very good. Like, their completion percentage allowed isn't very bad. Their pass rating allowed isn't too bad. The problem has been getting pressure on the quarterback. But that goes back to the run defense. See, the Lions' run defense has been so bad, especially on early downs, that their pass defense is suffering from it because there's no way for them to get pressure. The Lions' scheme is, honestly, I wouldn't say simple, but it's like this. We need to stop the run. That way we can get ourselves in pass rushing situations where we don't necessarily have to blitz, but we can utilize our speed, our linebackers to get to the quarterback. The problem is the offense is never in that situation where they're one-dimensional, where it's like, oh, snap, we got to pass the ball here. It's like, oh, wait, are they going to run it? Or are they going to pass it? I don't know. It's only 3rd and 1. Who knows? That's a problem. The Lions need to have the run defense first to set up the pass rush. Now, in coverage, there's health issues to look at here. Why? Well, for the Lions side of things, Desmond Trufant and Justin Coleman, neither of those players look like they're going to play. And for the Jaguars side of things, Visca Chenault, who was limited yesterday in practice, and DJ Chark, who has not practiced yet, and Tyler Eifert, who has not practiced, there are some big names out there that could potentially be missing with some injuries. DJ Chark, a Pro Bowler, but even if he can't go, Keelan Cole is a very good receiver. They also have Conley, who has some size, and he's not bad either. And it looks like I think Chenault probably will play. Tyler Eifert may not get to go, but I like their backup tight end, O'Shaughnessy. I think I can't really say his name that well, but I do like their backup tight end. And for the Lions side of things, Desmond Trufant has been pretty much awful this entire year. But Jeffrey Okudah to me played his best game against the Saints. Hopefully he can build on that. Amani maybe a little bit of a bounce back, but it's going to be a lot on Darryl Roberts here. Darryl Roberts versus Keelan Cole is a matchup to watch. I'm going to give the advantage slightly, just slightly, to the Jacksonville Jaguars, a 0.5 advantage. I could see the Lions come up with an interception in this game, but I'm going to slightly give it to the Jaguars because I'm just a little bit too concerned with that run defense. If I had more confidence in run defense, the advantage would probably go to Lions here, but I don't have enough confidence in that run defense, and that's where it really does start. Okay, finally, special teams. Who has the advantage of special teams? It's got to go to Detroit Lions. When it comes to DVOA rankings, the Jaguars are 28th, the Lions are 7th. And so far, they have the best punter in the league. They have a pretty reliable kicker in Matt Prater, and I think, here's my bold prediction, Jamal Agnew returns a punt for a touchdown. That is it. Jamal Agnew is going to take a touchdown back to the house off a punt. I see it happening. It also could be a kick return. I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm going to go with the punt here. That is my prediction. We have a punt return for a touchdown from Jamal Agnew. Hayden Coombs been saying he wants it to make a big play to impact the game. It's going to come from Jamal Agnew. He said he's close multiple times. Well, I think it's going to pay off in this game. Advantage here goes to the Detroit Lions just, because their special teams, in my opinion, is better, and that's what we've seen so far. Lions special teams is one of the better special teams units in the league, so it's not crazy to reach there. So what is my prediction? What is my final prediction in this game? I don't know where my marker is. Oh, it is in my pocket. Okay, there it is. 27, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, 21. That is my legit prediction for this game. I have the Lions coming away with a 6-point win on the road. Look, it's the NFL. A win's a win. I'm taking a win. It can be ugly. It can be beautiful. It could be, I don't know what the other word would be. I don't care. I want to win. We need to win. That's what I see happening. I think the Lions, I'm going to take the under in this game. I think the Lions win this game by 6. I don't think they'll score 30, but I think what we do see is Matthew Stafford makes history, throws 2 touchdown passes. I have 303 passing yards, just barely over 300 because the Lions will keep that ground game going. They'll be surprised if it's under 300. But I think Jamal Agnew breaks it open with a punt return, possibly kick return, but probably a punt return touchdown. On the Jaguars side of things, Minshew will play a good game. He's not a bad quarterback. He's actually one of their better players on the team, if you ask me. It's just that arm strength is a little bit of a concern, which could lead to an interception and some passes defended, but I'm going to say he's going to have a pretty good game, and he can also run. He may have some scrambles that, loosen up the defense a little bit, but I think we could see a fumble on the ground from a guy like James Robinson. Yup, that's it, man. That is my prediction. Guys to keep out for, DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift, I have having 74 total yards from scrimmage. I know it's not super crazy, but I think he'll be the main back, especially if Peterson can't go. So there you go, man. 6-point win. The Lions get to 2-3. The Jags fall to 1-5 in my prediction, and hopefully this means the start of a little bit of a run. Let me know your thoughts, comments below, man. What's your prediction? Thank you for watching, and I'm out. Are you kidding me right now? I had to put my helmet on for this one. Are you kidding? Look at this. Look at all these members. What? Yo, hey, shout out to all the members, man. Look how many All-Pro members there are. Like, literally, it's the whole screen, dog. This is crazy. The patrons Of course, the Hall of Fame members, man. Y'all got the gold color. It's kind of yellow, but it's supposed to be gold. Shout out to all the members, man. If you want to be a part of this, all you got to do is join the channel. But there are perks that come with it. Stay locked in the community tab if you are a member, because that's where a lot of information comes out. I appreciate all of you. What?